today on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The nation's number one talk station, the nation's number one radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Yes, we're back. Welcome back from the sports studio. 7:34 is time for my studios here. Right now, let's get on with the papers. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
We have the papers here for you already. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Search for Nigeria Info 99.3 and you'll be with us live and drop your comments on the stories that we got for you. Daily Trust is where we're starting from. Page 4. Is our first story. Tinubu suspends 5% telecom vehicle import taxes. Others. That's Daily Trust newspaper.
Well, there's some news that is a bit cheering, and I'm hoping that this, was born out of the reactions we've gotten so far on this regime's economic programs. Okay, so the good news here is that the president has suspended the newly introduced green tax through exercise on single-use plastics and so on and so forth. Some long and winding thing. Mr. Dele Alake yesterday disclosed on Thursday to House reporters, and he made the announcement in the company of some officials of the Ministry of Finance, and he said that the president ordered the suspension of the import tax adjustment levy on certain vehicles as part of efforts to address key concerns on manufacturers and other stakeholders regarding some recent tax changes. He revealed that the president had deferred the commencement of the Finance Act, and then he gives all the details. You can find that out if you read the papers. And he said that the president wishes to reiterate his commitment to reviewing complaints about multiple taxation, local and anti-business inhibitions. The federal government sees business owners, local and foreign, as critical engines in its focus on achieving higher GDP growth and so on and so forth. All that rhetoric is there. And he says that the special advisor on revenue, Mr. Zacchaeus Adejeji, said the intent of the president was to lighten tax burdens. I hope this is not just rhetoric. Because, look, most businessmen face multiple taxes. And you won't believe it. Talking about multiple taxes, the Director General of NECA, Mr. Adewale Smart Oyenide, stated that the issue of multiplicity of taxes had become a major challenge to organized business in the country, and said the orders would remove a clog in the wheel of business owners in the country. That is NECA. Nasima also has commented the decision. Listen to this. You'll find this quite amusing. According to Mr. Yoride, currently businesses are made to pay over 50 different taxes and sundry charges, amongst which are corporate income tax, import duties, export duties, excise duties, rents, capital gains tax, personal income tax, value-added tax, stamp duty, property tax, motor parking fee, motor vehicle fee, or like my late friend, my late papa in the Ibadan say motor vehicle free, withholding tax, land tax, market license fee, road tax, business premises tax, dividend tax, NHIS levy, advert fee, regulation fee, and the new NYSC levy, as well as the regular users charge, such as electricity, water, disposal. And he says this huge tax burden, no doubt, has been a clog in the wheel of overall performance of organized businesses over the years. We had at numerous fora expressed concern on the escalation of taxes, including excise duties and its adverse implication on the business operating environment. Anyway, so, those who are concerned, this is the good news. If you go check the papers, it's in all the papers.
Yeah.
And the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria says suspension will remove Nigeria from the woods. Well, at least we have a government that seems to be, I'm not committing myself yet, sensitive to, criticisms and the yearning of the people. I just hope it's not just a PR exercise in the beginning, but at least we seem to have a government that knows what it's doing. Now, whether what it's doing is right or wrong, only time will tell. Because it's one thing to have the ideas, implementation, of course, is key. But this one is quite some welcome news.
Yeah, it is welcome.
Welcome news,
yes. It's good move. But then the manufacturers, want more tax cuts as well.
Oh, they're going to move. They'll move inch by inch. The good sign here is that the government is visibly paying attention to the economy on a day-to-day basis, and that looks promising from this government. It looks quite promising. But let's see how it goes. Usually there's a good start, and then somewhere along the line, but. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Let's move on to Vanguard. Page 8 of the Vanguard has this one here. It says, Presidency explains Tinubu's meetings with opposition figures. Says reports on ministerial lists mere fabrications. Adds APC's reaping from PDP's crisis.
My friend again, Dele Alake, is... I haven't even seen him to congratulate himself on this position. We do these things irrespective of what side of the divide we are. Dappy, congrats, so give him a thumbs up. Okay, so he was asked to give an update yesterday on the formation of the cabinet. And he said that there's been no truth in what is going on in the public space. But I will look him straight in the eye and tell him that there's a bit of falsehood also in what you are doing, because you have to divide. Also, he talks here about the fact that members of the so-called opposition have been visiting the villa. Listen, we have a president currently, unless anything changes, we have a current president. He is free to call on anybody within this nation to come and serve his country. That person is also free, whether anybody likes it or not, to accept or reject. Indeed, you are free if you know you have something to offer. You cannot wait until the day that you have a president that you support. I'm talking about those in opposition now. If you're very hot about something, you want to give your own to your country, don't let's run down people who take public office. What is most important is we need to monitor what they do and what they say when they finally take up public office. I was Ruben Abati's biggest defender back in the day when they took up, and people were saying, because he was writing a column, he didn't betray anybody. He was writing a column, he wasn't paid by you people, he was paid by the Guardian. And job functions differ. And after any election, we all expect things to settle down and people should be free. So this fuss that we make about, somebody who was with Obi yesterday was seen in the villa. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I said, Tinubu's meetings with opposition figures had nothing to do with the formation of his cabinet. Probably has. And they should have no apologies for it. Tinubu is an astute politician. I keep saying that. And he knows that you cannot have a winner takes all. Okay, so where the subscription lies, it says, Wednesday's visit to the president by Ayim Pius Ayim and Olisa Metu was to commend the president for the steps they are taking so far. The question I want to ask is, do they need to go there? If everybody was going to go there to shake the president's hand for the decision that he has taken over, when will he have time to work? If they are to be appointed ministers, so be it. Let's grow up. And then some of the things, I also need to tell government spokesmen that some of the things that we say can be quite embarrassing sometimes. You should, maybe that's why I'm not in that kind of function. I say, what's wrong if the president has invited him or he's lobbied to see the president? There's nothing wrong. Let's get out of this mode and, our country needs to mature. Okay? And, of course, Alaki now talks about Wiki's case. That Ricky has been in and out of the villa is understood and so on and so forth. Look, let's get behind this. What we want is a good cabinet, whether they are from opposition or not or whatever. It is because of the way we perceive public office. Everybody sees public office as, his family is made though. Sheriff is now the attorney. No, you can't be attorney.
No, I can't.
You're not elected.
That will be in the next line.
Let us stop this habit and encourage people. and then put them under pressure to do the right thing. But that's what it is. Can we move to the?
Of course, absolutely.
Sorry, I said Attorney General. I forgot that you are not a lawyer.
No.
These things do happen. It's a memory loss.
No, yeah. By the way, you can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Just type Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook and YouTube, okay? You'll be able to see us live on those two platforms and drop your comments as well. Let's go pick up the Guardian. Page 9 of the Guardian has a story here that says Lagos begins enforcement against street trading. Others.
This, I would like to say, these things, intermittently come out. We're going to force this, going to do that. Within a month, is lapsed. Okay? Remember the one of seizing vehicles and confiscating and whatever vehicles. We haven't heard any of this, and the traffic is in complete jam. But we will encourage them. The permanent secretary, Gajomo Bolaji, says that they're going to they've read the Riot Act to street traders in the state, especially on Third Mainland Bridge and Echo Bridge. I wish I could ask him, would that include clearing under the bridge? We've been emphasizing this for months and months and months and months. I understand the Echo Bridge will soon be open. Fair enough. That's nice to hear. But the question is, what are you going to do under the bridges? Because invariably, a director of the Federal Ministry of Works had complained that people were digging into the bridge from under and taking out Nigerians are something else. They use it for pong pong and all this akara frying. I don't want to use the word. There's this wide one that they call.
Yeah.
I don't want any problem this morning. But that's what. And look at the bridge. No railings. Nothing. Our people are. So I hope that this would include under the bridge. Okay. And the PS. But PS, Augusta, when we say certain things, just tell us you are going to clamp down on street trading. Full stop. Why you have to add this political statement, I don't know. He says that according to Gajomo Bolaji Tajudeen in the statement, is that the action was in line with the team's. What has clearing the street traders got to do with the team's agenda? A team's agenda has to do with policy. I mean, making sure the environment there are no street traders. So stop putting in these political things at every opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, you can talk about team's agenda when you're addressing this, but it's quite embarrassing to read that the permanent secretary would be referring to the issue of enforcing street trading as part of the team's agenda. So without the team's agenda, you wouldn't do it?
I think the team's agenda, I think environment is there or something like that.
No, you see, part of the problem in this, and I don't blame him. Everybody wants to, that's why advisors never advise in this country. They end up being errand boys. Everybody say, you don't know the mind of the governor. The governor has said that we have a theme's agenda. It's not everything that every time rhetoric you'll be saying is under some theme's agenda. You don't need to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm highly critical about these things. I pick every word. That's what I've been trained to do. But I find it that every time you talk about there's a theme's agenda. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That has to do with.
It's not a must that you must put it in everything you say.
Everything you say, you must come to work at 7:30. It's part of
because of PIN.
Perhaps it might be.
You must drink coffee in the morning.
We must correct you. And I don't have enough fuel to come to allow that to. We must train our top people in public speaking. Because when you politicize it now, people are just going to snigger and move on that team's agenda when they're not ready. This is just propaganda. Say we are going to enforce whatever on street trading. And he said that, the PS also said that there's a mega city that is developing. I'm sorry, sir, Lagos is not a mega city. The parameters don't add up. There's just a smart city. Neither is it a smart city. Lagos has no place for street trading, who not only constitute an eyesore to the aesthetics of the city, expose themselves. Sir, within 2 weeks, we are going to get some people to video under the bridges, that whole Ijora area. Because it's not just street trading. Ijora is becoming a small village. People are now even setting up under the bridge, I won't be surprised one day to find somebody has installed an air conditioner there. They live there. It's quite common. Do everything. Everybody's roasting corn. They have cows. They have everything. It's coming up. Just look at the National Theatre access. So you should concentrate on that, sir, Mr. Guy. In fact, we'd like to invite. Can I invite him, Mama?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that would make a lot of sense.
Yes, we'd like to invite Mr. Tajuddin, to please come and let's put some push to this.
I'd particularly like for you to ask the PS about Okadas, because they are back on Lekki.
Oh, the
They're
Okadas
back
are
on
back.
the roads. They're back on the streets. They're
If
everywhere now. In fact,
if you start talking about the things we'll ask him now, the man will not come.
Sorry.
So let's keep that close to our chest. He will not come. but it's a after all the cracks and everything and the jokes, it's a very nice initiative, and we look forward to a cleaner city. It's from there, from keeping the city clean and even clean as it is, just keep it clean. From there, we'll now move on we'll be taking the first baby steps to being a mega city, and then to be a smart city. What's a smart city?
Is it impossible to have Lagos rid of Agberos, Okadas,
a determined government that has no chains and is not involved in any form, and its personnel are not involved in any form of racketeering? What we get to hear apparently is that the money from the Agbero, whatever, is quite a lot, and it seems to be making the rounds. I don't know why it hasn't come to the media yet, but apparently from the stories you hear, you do have government officials, you do have some traditional rulers, you do have police. That's the general rumor, about what happens to this. So it's a syndicate. It's happened in other cities before, in the good old days of the mafia, where they had, unless you have a governor or a government that has no strings to these things, because it starts from the election. It's a sense of entitlement. If they've aided you to, quote and unquote, aided you to win an election, you can't turn against them. It's their right to also have their own share. One of these days, I'll sit back and tell people about my links with the late Adedibu. And I used to visit him just to get. People don't know that this job you have to make. I used to visit him, sit with him, and hear his logic. One day I will tell you about what he said about Ladoja. I can't want to say about Ladoja. Baba wanted, was it 25% or so? He wanted. Oh, dear me.
Let's move on to our next story, Lagos. I'm recuperating. I'll resume soon at Keredolu. This is in Daily Trust.
Katie, my good friend. Yes, I'm glad to hear that. All those enemies of progress who keep sending me WhatsApp messages that some would ask a question, is he dead? Or some will send me to say categorically he's dead. Katie is alive and well. Thank you, Ibi. I hope you heard that. That's a common friend between the two of us. And by the way, we lost a friend between the class between Akiti and I, Boye Shofolu. I think he's going to be buried today, sometime this morning. May his soul rest in peace. But Akiti is alive and well, and he says that he will soon be back in the States. He'll soon be back in the States. Then all these controversies that you had. What is most important, though, is that we must be system-based. If you have, we've heard of the controversy going on in Ondo State about the governor, the deputy governor. Once the deputy governor has handed over, once the governor has handed over to the deputy governor becomes the substantive governor until the governor comes back. So all these politics about giving instructions and this and that, all entitlements that are due to the governor, I think we should go to the deputy because he's the governor. But so let's always personalize these things. And I'm sure Aketi himself, wouldn't want this. There's a lot of infighting going on. Some people were complaining that he was asking for the various things that governors, I think security vote and this and that, and they felt he was being disloyal. He's the governor. We must be system-based. We shouldn't personalize governance. He's the governor. That's why also in some of I hate these words like the something led. I've heard recently the Bola Tinubu administration. There's nothing like that. There's only one presidency, irrespective of who is heading it. Because I've heard people, some of the officials say the Tinubu-led administration will not. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing called any Jimi Disu-led anything. Okay, let's start being very whatever, both in our discussions and in our thinking. Don't let's personalize these things.
Okay. I'm going to quickly take some comments on our live stream on YouTube. Bosun says, well, my opinion, Agbero cannot leave Lagos. The tools in the hand, Lagos, I don't understand that one. Shegun says, Lagos State cannot enforce these things. From CMS down to Akpogbon is filled with street traders who pay CBD officials on a daily. Let them trade on the streets in peace.
I think, but let's give them a chance, okay? Even the PAMSEC told us that it's part of the team's agenda. So let's see. I think that if they put their minds to it, but I hope they've also have. That's why it will be good to have him here.
Yeah.
That okay, these street traders who multiply by the day, given economic situations, where are you going to put them? It's not enough to fire tear gas at them on the bridge, or where are they going to be able to ply their trade?
It is why I subscribe to that idea you shared yesterday about some certain hours of trading.
Oh yes,
on some certain roads or some certain areas.
Let's admit that okay, we must have things on the street. Take one or two streets and lock them up. Close them down to traffic between 8 and 2, 8 and 3, and you can push all of them there.
Yeah.
Rather than just tear gas them and throw them. But Pamsek, this is 6th Street now. If in another month or so, under the bridges are not clear, then you will be holding, because you've come to tell us that you have zero tolerance for any degradation of the environment. What a tough job he has.
Yeah, it's really... yeah. Page 11 says, INEC files charges against suspended Adamawa Rec Daily Trust.
Well, for those skeptics who think that maybe the man has gotten away with it, the INEC has now filed a 6-count charge at the Adamawa High Court. Okay? And Festus Okoye disclosed this on Thursday in Abuja. All of you know the INEC rec to Meho. So, yes, they said that Okoye said, as provided by Section 1451 of the Electoral Act, an offense committed under the Act shall be tried in the Magistrates Court or a High Court in which the offense is committed. It doesn't say anything. The newspaper should have added what the penalty could be if he is found guilty, so we can, both he and us can prepare ourselves. He that is going and we that are looking. It'd be nice if we could get that information. Right.
So sit at home security operatives in show of force, Vanguard.
Well, one of the challenges that President Tinubu has is the issue of what's going on in the East. It's completely, we should have zero tolerance for this. For close to 2 to 3 years, this group of people who Nnamdi Kanu has said have nothing to do with him have been going, in the East, have been closing down every Monday in the name of Nnamdi Kanu. And I saw, I think it was Michael Zekome that said that it has nothing to do with it. I think it's infantile, it's silly, and not well thought of. Why would you want to punish your own people, more so in these times, and tell them to sit at home? Who loses? Who loses? I think I don't need to delve more into that, but it's quite clear who is at a loss here. And I hope that the president will bring, order to bear in that region. You definitely can't have a situation where some people will tell you not to go ply your trade. I mean, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But apparently, the governors themselves seem to be at a loss as to what to do.
We have to go now. This is where we'll leave it for today. What's coming up at 9?
2 things. There's a lady who, another one of these things now, the lady, after today's on No More, she claimed to have, she rode a bag she went on and organized whatever, rode a bike throughout the north.
Yeah.
Well, that's one part. The other part is that I bumped into somebody and was going to sell me this idea of investment in another country to get their passport or whatever it is. And I found it quite interesting. I said, okay, come on. She's not going to do a marketing pitch, but she's just going to explain to us what this thing is all about. I understand that in some countries, for example, if you put in X amount, you have to go. Yeah. That finger of yours. Okay, let me go. You hear the rest at 9 o'clock.
Thank you so much. Lagos, that's our show. Bye for now.
All right.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.